The 2024 NBA draft has come and gone, and the New York Knicks selected Kevin McCullard from Kansas and also Ariel Hukporti in the second round, and I'm here to break it all down. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel, and I'm going to be breaking down both of their games, talking about how they fit within the Knicks organization. But first and foremost, I want to talk about Kevin McCullard. So Kevin McCullard, looking up his stats for Kansas, he ended up averaging 18.3 points, averaging 6 rebounds. But the thing with Kevin is I believe he had a knee injury around January of this year, which caused him to miss the Big 12 tournament and also the March Madness tournament. Sam Feceni, an NBA draft analysis from The Athletic, had this to say about Kevin McCullard. If you think the jumper will improve and McCullard will stay healthy, it's reasonable to have first-round grade on him. Unfortunately, he's done neither of those through a significant sample of his career, so I couldn't get to that level. So right now, it sounds like Sam Feceni, the biggest concern that he has about Kevin's game is honestly his health. Everything else, it seems like he definitely has a good grasp on it. And then Bill Self, his coach at Kansas, he also has something to say about Kevin. So if we take a look here, Kevin is a first-round player, and I think anybody that saw him healthy this year would agree to that. Kevin will play in the league for a long time, and the Knicks got one of the toughest players we have had in our program. We are all excited that Kevin heard his name called. He will be a great fit to a playoff team and such a storied franchise. Unfortunately, Kevin got injured at the end of January, wasn't the same the rest of the season, and had a setback after the season as well. He wants it bad, and he will respond. He will do well in New York. So out of those two quotes that we just heard, Bill Self being his former coach, definitely had some good things to say about Kevin. And as far as Sam Feceni, when he's not talking about his health, he definitely has some high praise for Kevin, talking about his overall game, saying that it comes down to the shot. If defenders must play Kevin honestly from distance, the rest of his game as a smart drive and kick player and intelligent cutter opens up enough to play a complementary role in offense. But if the shot is not there, it's hard to imagine that his drives would be impactful as teams sagged off him as he spaced behind the three-point line. Sam Feceni went on to say that Kevin McCullard is an impact guy who can play physical, switchable defense and will be available to scramble around. He also makes winning plays and is willing to get on the ground for loose balls to create extra possessions. I mean, that last sentence, he will get on the ground for loose balls to create extra possessions. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. That's any basketball player. Any basketball player that actually loves the game is going to dive on the floor for loose balls. And another thing that I don't like when these NBA draft analysis people say is that, like, oh, he's a warrior. Like, he's not scared of the moment. He's not scared of the bright lights. Like, I don't know how that always didn't really sit well with me, because if you're a basketball player, you want those pressure moments to show what you're really made of, to show the type of person that you are, willing to go on the floor, willing to take the biggest shot of the game. Me personally, like, obviously I never played in the NBA, but like, if it was 2 seconds left, I 100% wanted that shot. I wanted to be the one hitting the game-winning shot, running off the court with my teammates jumping all over me. And then, yeah, all the analysis, all the draft experts, all the coaches, the scouts, they're gonna say that, oh, he's a tough shot maker. He's the one that's not afraid of the lights. But like, me personally, I never really thought about it like that. I was just like, I just want to win the game. So stuff like that, when the NBA draft analysis experts, they start talking about that stuff, like aggressive, first to the floor, and not scared of the bright lights, like that just always didn't sit well with me. It's like, if you're a basketball player, you just want to be on the court at all times. Obviously, there's the physical conditioning, which takes a huge part in the whole being able to stay on the floor. But if you're a basketball player, man, you want to stay on the floor. And as I was doing my research on Kevin, there was a particular highlight roaming through the internet. It was when Kansas was playing against Marquette. And in the highlight, I did see Tyler Kolek and also Kevin McCullard go up against each other. When it was like a small possession, Kevin McCullard switched on Tyler Kolek. And in that possession and in that highlight, I saw Kevin being able to move his feet. I saw him actually wanting to take that defensive assignment. So again, it's something very, very small. But that's something that I saw from both Knicks draft picks that was definitely eye-opening. Tyler Kolek, who's another one of the Knicks draft picks. Small little tangent on Tyler. Undersized point guard coming into the NBA. He's definitely going to have to work on his body, putting on weight. From what I saw from the highlights and a little bit of research that I did, I do like his aggressiveness. I do like how it seems like he just like knows what he's doing. And he's with Marquette. It seemed like he was like the definitive leader of that team, commanding certain situations. But going back to that highlight that I saw Kevin switch on Tyler, Kevin, on the other hand, like I just said, moving his feet, being able to stay in front of Tyler, that was definitely something that stood out to me. But going back to Kevin McCullard, in his final 2 years at Kansas, he played in 60 games, started in 59 of those games, averaging averaging 14 points, 6.6 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and 1.8 steals. He averaged around 32.2 minutes in the final 2 years at Kansas. And in this season, in 2024, he was named to the first team All Big 12 team, which is impressive because in January, he went out with that knee injury. So it looks like he did enough to earn that award. And before Kansas, Kevin played at Texas Tech, where he averaged 8.7 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.9 assists, and 1.4 steals. And he averaged around 25.8 minutes in 78 games, where he started in 49 of those games. So listen, man, Kevin McCullard, as far as like accolades and as far as the numbers, he definitely has the numbers to back up his collegiate career. But up until this point, the only thing that might be a little bit of a concern is his health, specifically that knee. So hopefully he's able to bounce back and we're able to see him thrive with the Knicks organization. Leon Rose and Worldwide West, it looks like they really know what they're doing. They really know what players to target. And hopefully we get to see him have some sort of, I don't know, man. Coach Tibbs doesn't like rookies, yo. But hopefully we're able to see him get on the court at some time this season. All right, and now moving on to Ariel Hukporti. So Sam Vecenie, again, NBA draft expert analysis for The Athletic, goes on to say he's an awesome rebounder and good rim protector, and I think he can play in drop coverage in the NBA. He plays incredibly hard, and he's willing to be physical. There's no ego to his game. And if you see there, Ariel Hukporti is 6'11", 22 years old. In the article, Sam Vecenie goes on to say Hukporti is a potential backup center if he can just improve his processing ability, overall precision, and general skill level a tad on offense. What really sticks out to me there is Sam Vecenie saying that Hukporti is a potential backup center. Now, of course, right now, there's a whole situation between Isaiah Hartenstein and the Knicks. It looks like the Knicks are not going to be able to retain Isaiah Hartenstein. And if Mitchell Robinson is going to be our starting center, first and foremost, let's pray for him. Let's pray and see if he's going to be able to stay healthy for a full season. If Isaiah Hartenstein leaves, we're going to need a backup center. I'm not saying Hukporti is definitely going to be that answer because he's going to be a rookie. He still needs to learn the NBA lifestyle. He still needs to learn just the speed of the game. So we're probably going to have to target somebody in free agency. I think Chris did a video, and I saw articles out there saying that Andre Drummond is a possible target. Goga Batadze, the backup center for Orlando. And I think there's like 2 or 3 more that I'm not remembering right now. But just the idea of Hukporti being an option for a backup center, again, lets me know that Leon Rose and Worldwide West, they know what they're doing. Reading the analysis that Sam Vecenie put up on the Athletic, it seems like he's super Hukporti, that is just super raw, and he's playing off of skills and just straight raw talent right now. Sam Vecenie goes on to say, offense must be simple for him with transition play, screening, rim running, offensive rebounding, and dunking. I don't see much potential to shoot or score outside of 10 feet. He gets far too sped up in terms of processing on offense to be a high-level passer. Now, normally when I see stuff like that, my ears are definitely ringing. I'm definitely on high alert. But again, 6'11", 22 years old. He's still young. He's a little bit younger than most NBA rookies nowadays. But coming to the NBA, man, we all know that's a different animal, that's a different beast. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take him some time to transition and adjust and learn. So, and one thing that I keep harping on all the videos that I've been putting out, we need to learn how to be patient. We have to learn how to be patient, not just with our players, but with just the organization itself, knowing that they know what they're doing, putting the right pieces in play. Now, prior to being drafted in the NBA draft, Hukporti did play in Germany. He averaged 5 points and 6.3 rebounds. He averaged around 14.3 minutes. And then prior to playing in Germany, he was actually in Australia, where he averaged 8.4 points and 7 rebounds, and he averaged around just over 18 minutes in the 28 games. In the 2 seasons when he was playing in Australia, he averaged around 7.8 points and 6 rebounds, averaged around 16.8 minutes in 55 games. In the 2020-2021 season, he was in Lithuania, where he averaged around 10.2 points, 7.4 rebounds, averaged around 22.8 minutes, and he appeared in about 19 games. So Hukporti, obviously being drafted to the Knicks, first time being in the NBA, but he does have some professional experience under his belt. And again, man, whenever you're drafting players in the NBA draft, especially when the only thing you've seen of them is maybe when they're overseas, I'm talking about Hukporti in this specific instance, it's really hard to gauge, man. I mean, look at the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like when Milwaukee, we've seen the footage that Milwaukee looked at when they looked at Giannis. It looked like it was literally in a YMCA, and the footage looks super grainy for today's standards. So like, you just never know with these kind of things. Kevin McCullard, like we saw him play in Kansas, so his games were on ESPN, on Fox, and all that stuff. So we have a little bit of a better gauge. But Hukporti being the 58th pick in the 2024 NBA draft, like, it's not really much of a risk. Like, there's not really going to be a lot of value around those picks. So if Hukporti ends up becoming a rotational NBA player, great. Nobody's really expecting him to become an all-star or superstar MVP. Absolutely not. But if he ends up becoming a rotational NBA player, hopefully with the Knicks, then Leon Rose and World Wide West, they just knocked it out of the park. This NBA draft was definitely funny. It was definitely interesting because there just wasn't a lot to grab. There just wasn't a lot to pick from. The picks that we did have, Tyler Cole, Kevin McCullard, Ariel Hukporti, the picks that we did have in this draft, hopefully we get to see them play. Hopefully we get to see them flourish and actually grow as a basketball player. But then you also got to take into consideration the other factors that go on to the NBA. Agents, coaching, fits, playing styles, like all that stuff comes into play, which is why a lot of these players, when they go on interviews and they say that one of the biggest things that a lot of fans don't really understand about the NBA is you have to have luck. And in those particular instances, they're kind of talking about injury luck. But if you're talking about a basketball player coming into the NBA, realizing your dream, there has to be a lot of luck. You get drafted, but you could be drafted and then you're just at the end of the bench, not even sniffing any minutes during an actual NBA game. The only run that you might be getting is in actual practices. So you need luck with that. You need luck to see if you're going to have time on the floor. Sometimes the player in front of you might get injured, and then that means you're up. And obviously nobody wants anybody getting hurt, but that is some form of luck. You have to be drafted into the right situation depending on the needs of that team, the availability of that team. If the team needs a guard and you're a guard, if the team needs a big and you're a big, and you actually have some skills, then all of this can kind of be boiled down to luck. And everybody is just making it a highly, highly educated guess, but nobody really definitively knows what they're getting with their draft pick. But guys, that's it for today's video. I want to say thank you so much for checking it out. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about these two Knicks draft picks. Kevin McCullard from Kansas, Ariel Hukporti with the 58th pick. But until next time, guys, thank you for checking it out. Leave it in the comments. And of course, Jalen Brunson for MVP. The deuce is loose for co-MVP. Taj Gibson for president, wherever you are. Mikal Bridges, the newest Knick for Defensive Player of the Year. Let's get it, baby. And I'll check you out in the next video. Peace.